stakeholder, specific stakeholder identification, and also starting to work out the details of how we will get feedback from the various groups. So we have a bi-weekly phone call set up with them, Zoom call, and we'll just continue to do that process. We are thinking of having at least one public session, maybe tacked on to the annual town meeting at the end of November. Since we already get people out for that, and maybe push that a little bit more and combine a couple things. So we'll keep you in the loop as that moves forward. Let's see. I reached out this afternoon, sorry, to 15 businesses that have participated in the last couple of big events that we've had. And I just sort of told them a little bit about what we would like to do with a visitor site, and that we are considering a calendar feature to that, and explain to them what that would mean, and ask them if they would be willing to participate if we did something like that. Did they think that that was of value to them as a business? And I also asked them, when they said yes or no, if they could elaborate on what their reasoning is. So I'm hoping if we at least get a good handful of those people back with a positive, that maybe I did talk to the Kate already, and they said that they would use the calendar if we had it. They've just redone their own website. It's very nice. They have their own really nice calendar too. So we'll see where that goes. And even if some of them say no, maybe they will give feedback as to why they would say no, and that will help us to
understand.
Yeah. And maybe tweak the idea or do something else too that they find of value to them as a business owner. So that is out there. Marketing, we've been working on the summer video. Will we get to see it today? Okay, good. Yep. And so that'll be nice. Some of us have seen it already, but for those who haven't seen it. And then, let's see, Community Art Hallway will have its last open house next week on August 16th from 6 to 7. The Chamber of Commerce sidewalk sales coming up August 18th through the 20th. The Starlight Festival planning will resume this month. We took a couple months off with all the hubbub with the summer event. So we're going to jump right back into that and start getting that done. And I also have been working with a lighting consultant to do maybe a multi-year plan on how we can start improving our lighting on the green and making sure that all of our downtown lighting is coordinated and looks cohesive and like it belongs together, and see what we can do to maybe step up a few things. June 23rd, 2024 is the date for next year's Saybrook Street Party. And we have done some polling of vendors and attendees to get some feedback that we can use to make changes for next year. I anticipate we're going to begin meeting on that in September to book bands and do like an early bird registration so that we can get going on that before people book up their calendars. I'm almost done with a steep grant that I helped the Old Saybrook Fire Department write for some new radios. We were originally going to consider town park improvements, but we are just not there with the engineering and all that yet to be shovel ready to move forward on that at this moment. But it's definitely a possibility for next year. So the fire department has really been struggling to find funding for that project, so I helped them with that. Yeah. And some additional money has been set aside from the surplus to go towards the crosswalk project. So again, we're just waiting on the engineering for that, but it is a priority. And we've got ARPA funding set aside for that, and now this additional funding. So, even while we're waiting, we're building momentum to make sure that that project gets completed. And other than that, I am working on the annual report for the town right now. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything.
Busy. Oh my gosh, busy.
Very busy.
Yeah. Good job.
All right.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. We'll go to regular business and I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting, July 13th. Should have them in front of you.
I'll make the motion. I read the.
The second. Nick, all right, I'll give you a couple minutes to review it. I haven't seen it yet. Everybody's okay. I'll ask for everyone in favor of approving the minutes. Say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Abstain.
Abstain.
Okay. Okay, motion approved. Okay, and we'll go, next item is correspondence and announcements. Jennifer, anything exciting come in?
I don't have anything particular to add to that. Oh, well, we were actually just talking about an exciting development on Main Street for those who missed it. Unfortunately, Gargano Pasta closed their doors on Sunday, and
What happened
well, they're just struggling a little bit, but
Sort of makes sense when you understand the whole thing.
yeah, immediate.
there?
We
Tell me.
There's a new tenant who just signed a lease today, and Thimble Island Brewer is coming to take that spot.
Was that the brewery that was looking originally?
No.
That's
It's,
the other one.
it's another,
My CERN.
That's right.
This is Joel's brother,
Joel, who,
who owns Gargano and Grano Marsa. That's why it happened so quickly.
it was just a flip.
They signed the lease today.
So it'll be a satellite.
Of his brewery.
Yeah, because their main place is in Brantford.
They probably will still serve pasta.
They probably will now serve.
And they put
have
that
their
bread-
own menu.
I hope they use the bread though.
No,
But it is exciting to have
Well, I'm glad it's
something
flipped.
vibrant
Yeah.
move in.
Move in.
Yeah,
It was
so.
Gargano's for me. I mean, I never felt like when I went in there, I felt particularly comfortable. I mean, it was like, I don't know, it was just a funny feeling in there. And then, of course, I'm Italian. Pasta is
Life.
water and flour, and I don't care how you grind it.
And it's how.
You don't grind it. I don't care what you did. I grew up, my grandmother, we were talking about tonight, it was with Jean Brill. They dried the stuff all over the bed. And so I think for a lot of us, even my daughter from Manhattan, she would say to me, Mom, these are Manhattan prices.
right.
And so I think that I don't wish them, and then I would never have badmouth them. It was just, I didn't know how they were going to
He
survive.
had lowered his prices, but I think it was too little too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
Because the rest of us, and the pizza,
It was good, but it wasn't Anything special for the money?
And
And use Grotto and Justice.
Right.
he does fabulous stuff. From what I'm hearing, they do fabulous.
Oh, it's
stuff.
fantastic.
But it was such a great idea. It just didn't develop.
This is a better idea.
This is, I think it. So anyway,
Huge
I'm
symbol I
happy.
need, so
I'm happy for how
We'll see
this is.
you will.
Maybe we'll have a meeting there.
We can get Larry to hook up the.
Send me there or across the. That's it.
So, I mean, I'm glad that they've got something
Yeah.
going there,
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
great.
it'll be
'Cause
fun.
that's a big space.
Yeah,
It is.
It's huge and it's expensive.
Is it expensive? Ooh, you would know.
It's top out.
Just so I'm glad we all, because after that happened, I was going, I can't wait to go to the meeting. I want to find out what actually happened. Because I knew you would know, I knew you guys would all know what happened. So it was like, bang.
And
the
it
door-
just happened.
Yes.
Sunday, yeah.
But I think it was planned. I think this whole thing was negotiated and planned. That's why they closed so quick.
Yeah, it was a smooth.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for all that input. We'll move on to old business and summer visitors video update.
I guess I should get going on, because video is part of that, all of that. But there's that moment that we just had, talking about the arrival of the brewery, and a brewery with a very significant name. Should be something that we think about, is, saying that should be in our social media calendar or announcements, that becomes an action item for the resources that we have. So, the on the ground knowledge that you all have should be elements that come to the table. We say, is there an opportunity? They're going to issue their own press release, et cetera, but the town should issue a release about that. The town should be thinking about, how do we pair and make something out of that particular opportunity? Just putting it out there as we open up and we think about what we're doing together, right? How is everybody?
Good.
Nice to see you all. I got a lot of grief. One of my beloved colleague Hunter is listening in tonight, who works very hard with me on your assignments. I got a lot of grief today about the outfit I wore today, the combination of animal prints and flowers.
It
Laura,
works.
I think it works, right? Yeah.
Friends
Yeah.
are neutral.
Yeah, but graphic designers, man, it was a knockdown. Every Zoom meeting, I'm like, that doesn't work. People were sending me screen captures of my Zoom and sending it back to me. I'm not sure about that combination, just so you know the kind of mood I'm in. Yeah, from the deck. Okay. All right, so here we are. I'm going to share my screen, everybody. Casey, did I see we had a little special visitor with us tonight? Am I saying your name correctly, Casey Han? Yeah.
She's there. She's crawling around on the floor for the most part.
I just want to take them. I always like acknowledging special visitors.
Okay. She'll pop up again at some point.
All right. As a step up from my little handwritten notes, I brought them back with me just in case you missed them or that experience. They've been passed around my office. Coffee's been spilt on them, but just in case you missed the experience last week, they're still here if you want to see them. Okay. I created a PowerPoint presentation so our friends online could share it and to organize ourselves. And I also have hard copies for everybody if you'd like to grab one for note taking, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right. So the first chart I have here for you, and follow along up here on screen or on the hard copies in front of you. Don't feel left out, lady with suffrage tattoo. Okay. So we problem solved together and did great work together last month about our 120-day plan. Okay, so here it is at a glance. We are not right now in the heart of the late summer theme, and we're going to take a look at our video that we have still images running already on social media. And we said to ourselves, what's our 30-day window of time? What's our goal? What are we going to do to be able to drive somewhere until we had our site? We talked about launching a YouTube channel. Hunter's got that channel set up under Old Saybrook branding, and we'll be able to put the video up there based on your reactions tonight for the video. Okay. We had a budget for that 30-day period of time of $1,500. We're only about $200 into that budget. We have about 90,000 impressions on social media so far with the new photos. Just top of mind, keeping our name out there. It'll be even better when we get our video going. And we got a thumbs up on that yesterday. I think today.
A couple of days ago.
Okay. So 60 days from there, we're moving into our early fall theme. Our goal, as you all know, is we want to define our town brand right? We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We want to have a microsite ready to go because for a lot of reasons, but one thing I think you said is it's like, I will not go into Starlight without a microsite again, right? So I kind of remembered that from our last meeting. We want to be talking about our listening tours, although you're already having conversations with people about how they feel about the calendar, et cetera, but we need to get specific about that. 90 days, we move into late fall and holidays. Oh, we want to do a fall shoot in the window of time between 9:15 and 10:15 as a reminder about that. We move into our late fall holiday. Our larger sites should be in production. We want to resolve what we're doing about the calendar tool and or the membership profiles, which we spoke about last time. Storefronts being able to keep their own profiles current, similar to CT visit model or not. The Starlight Festival page will be fully engaged by that point for you, Jennifer. Okay, all right. And then our goal is to have a larger site online in that window of time heading into the Starlight Festival after earlier to Thanksgiving window, depending upon what level of feedback we get from our listening tours. Okay, we're all together on that? Yep. Our budget's 1,500, 2,000, 2,000, 5,000
Yep.
for Starlight, 5,000 special budget for the site, for the photo shoot, right? Okay. All right, next up is just reminding ourselves where we are in our pyramid of need process. The first thing to sort of clarify is you see this little white sort of call outs under the town marketing, digital footprint and messaging. You see the little these little areas here. That's a reminder to ourselves is that we don't expect to resolve all of our decisions on everything. That we're going to try to take on a bit of the digital footprint, a bit of the messaging, a true brand decision, logos, fonts, icons, registration of that brand from a patent protection standpoint. That's a very long journey. We want to get at least to a URL and a tagline, right? And then we keep building on those things, okay? Right. The connectivity portion of that. So we have the town marketing brand. We want to get to a URL, a hashtag, a social, a tagline. Our digital footprint, we want to get to a place to send our AdWords. SEM is an abbreviation for search engine marketing. Those are AdWords. A place to send our social media content to. That's what the hashtag stands for. And a site that we have that we can send things to. Right now, all we have is a Facebook page. Google Ads will not send to Facebook for obvious reasons. Why would Google send a market to Facebook, right? Right. And so we want to have some presence for ourselves. Our message, we're going to be focusing a great deal on the business to consumer side heading into our season, but we also want to be thinking about our business to business side. The connectivity, where you say it says the word earned media, that is where we have an opportunity to put content out about ourselves at that point, because we have places where we can contain it. So Thimble Island announcement, Starlight Festival, all of those things, we have a place to contain it outside of the town's website or just our Facebook page, or asking the Chamber of Commerce to give us room. I'm smiling because earlier today we were, the team was looking at options for where we can send things to. And one of the big elements that greets you on the town's page is lanternfly alert, right? right. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not sending my glorious video to a landing place. It said, warning, lanternflies. Nothing makes you want to leave New York. To come to a town, right? So anyway, we'll have our own connectivity we can control, right? We want to measure it. We have to be answerable to ourselves and to our community, and then we refine it. Helpful, everybody? Yeah. Okay.
There's another hot one bulletin too on invasive species. We got it all right there.
Nothing says, nothing says come hang out with us, right? Okay.
That reminds me though, and I forgot that in the announcement. I don't know if everybody saw, but there was a New York Times piece that came out about Old
Yes.
Saybrook.
It was low taxes, quiet.
Yeah.
It was really a nice.
It was, yeah, it was
very
a nice job,
I
yeah.
really don't want them to keep doing that though.
So I was looking,
Oh, and how was the New Hampton, the Hampton?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I know. That's why I asked them what you were doing.
It's interesting because a lot
Yeah,
of
back up.
the initial
Yeah.
buyers from the pandemic were actually people coming off of Southampton and East Hampton because they didn't like the crowds in the younger groups. And we have a lot of the same things that they have, but at a quieter,
And cheaper.
a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
And they were trying, when they did the whole tax thing,
Yeah.
this is a,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be I mean, I like this, but I don't want to be.
Right, so
Anyway.
I think it was great stories or elements to that, though, that we want to be careful about what we put out there, right? So,
Right.
so we will move that into some social media, but again, where am I sending people to?
Lantern Farm.
Lantern Farm,
Invasive
right?
species.
That's why our taxes are so low here, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we have.
We have invasive species.
So you are not probably going to be able to see them too clearly here, but the next slide is a part of the collection of images we got out of our shoot. I will zoom into a few of them here and navigate around. We've got food images, Kate images, the beautiful diversity images, shopping images, biking images. So we have about 105 images that came out of that shoot, which is a great collection. And it's our first collection, everybody, right? It's our first shoot. And we have that resolve, which is great, right? So that's where we stand on that, okay? We, as I mentioned to you, we wanted to get out of the gate with our pictures and our things. And so we launched, I think maybe 10 days after the shoot, what's called a carousel ad, which just has all of our images, just some are in Saybrook, some are in Saybrook. We have our colleague sent us a note, our social media colleague sent me a note to report to me. We have 86,000 impressions of this ad already out. We're at about $186 in our spend. And we're on our way.
And how long has it been out?
31st of August. No, July. July. I
Okay.
apologize. I'm already in August, right?
Yes.
So the end of July.
So like 10
Oh,
days.
so it's not bad. That's a lot.
It's,
And
that's great, right?
Yeah.
So we were here together. I think we were here last together on the 13th. On the 20th, we reviewed the plan and got materials launched the next week after that. So we're hustling. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you now is I have 2 slides about the video. The first one is no supporting text elements. And the second one, we overlay text elements to it to have call to actions, et cetera. So we're going to see how you feel about both of those options. You guys ready? Okay, make sure
I'm gonna back up.
I can't do my sound. How do we do my sound? If I'm on mute, right? I can put my sound on?
But no, because I think that if you play,
It'll
it'll
play
play
anyways?
song. Yeah.
Okay.
No, no, play the video. Okay, everyone's now.
It's not the video. Don't.
Let me try going this way. Hold on. Just watch the silent film for a minute.
Okay.
Still amazing and beautiful. In your head, yes, no? Let's see it again. Can I just play it again? Put my sound back on again.
Did you guys hear that
Yeah.
online, the music? No, okay. I think that if we unmute me, put them on.
Okay. This is,
Does Hunter have access to it?
Yes.
And have him know?
maybe. Okay. So a couple of things that is a struggle here for me. One is what you're seeing here is much more jumpy on screen than what's happening here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want this group to see it here, but the group
It's
here,
fine. If Hunter can play it,
okay,
I think it would be better.
let's try that.
Because the Wi-Fi here is not.
Okay, we'll see. Hi, Hunter. How was your dinner? You even get it
good.
done? Okay, I'm gonna stop my video. Everyone, this is my colleague and friend, Hunter. He is
Hello.
an amazing colleague. Worked really, really hard on your materials. Ran and coordinated the shoot. We'll see if you're able to share the video, Hunter. Thank you.
See if my side makes a difference here. If not, Maria, we could share the link in chat. They could view independently.
Okay, that's a great plan. I'll get that ready while you're doing that.
Okay.
I think no sound of the same issues are happening. So let's
But we get the idea.
Yeah,
get the idea.
I'm thinking I'm fine with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I don't
assume
need
it's
to-
smooth, I mean, and you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
I'm
send us a
sure.
link
Yeah,
afterwards.
that's fine.
I'm a perfectionist. Can you?
I know,
Yeah.
but that's okay. You don't have to be.
So,
I'm a minimalist, like I know it, I see it.
so, excited? Yes, right? Hunter, you can stop showing. Thank you. And I will also, I just want to share with you, a bit of the version that has text to it. Just so that we're clear on this. Just give me one moment.
Mhm.
I think it needs to have, supported messaging with it, and I want to just help us look at that. There'll be no sound, but you'll get the idea, okay? Am I sounding well? So just to share with you how it's possible to do messaging that also has hop on the rails, quick trip from Boston and New York. See it? Yeah, right? And then Wine and Dine, Penny Lane, one of many great restaurants. Sweet treats, sweet Luna's, make your own sundaes. But a shake of yes, no, what are you feeling out of that? Yeah, like it, pack your bags. Catch a show. See the shoreline. Bike rentals, explore dedicated trails. Tea time on the water, play Fenwick, oldest public golf course. Sunshines and sand castles. Find what you're looking for and I'll say, right?
The text is necessary.
Doesn't it,
Yeah,
doesn't it
that's
help?
great.
Yeah, okay, all right. Hunter, if you want to go back to off screen and actually maybe having a life out there, it's okay. All right. So where we're going to next, while we're still working on some brands, we're going to be doing that work together in a few minutes. We're using the hashtag Old Saybrook CT, and we're embedding that in the elements we're using in social media. So we're going to be taking some of the tone of the video, creating social media ads. We'll be using the video as an element and also the still photos from it. Everybody good? Okay, all right. So let's move into our next aspect of tonight, is we're looking at doing some theme brainstorming together. We had contributions from Jennifer, from Erica, from Michael, and from myself. And those who are here with us who maybe have them as hard copies or notes, you are welcome to share them. Okay. Jennifer, would you like to talk first about some of your ideas?
I mean, I just scribble little notes all around my desk. If any of you have seen the mess that my desk is, you understand that.
That's the best thinking.
So I just put some of them down here. They're more just like ideas and sort of like little themes, and you know, if they spur somebody else to say, oh, that I like that, but tweak it this way, I just and the last part is I'm always thinking about the sidewalks. I want to do a promotion on sidewalks one day. Because we've spent so much money in that, so sort of like, you know, my dream is one day we have like little places where you can take selfies and everybody can post their things about their sidewalks, and maybe we have little giveaways and stuff like that. But anyway,
Oh, good.
I wanted to put in some pictures, but I couldn't for the life of me find what I wanted. So anyway,
So ideas we have on the table from your very informed perspective, right? Where this was something we talked about last month. It's always your season in Old Saybrook. Seasonless, see for yourself. See Saybrook. Saybrook, stop in Saybrook. Eat, strolls, stay, relax, entertain. With sidewalks on every street, X miles a trail, there's a path for every wanderer. Question I have for the committee. Are we promoting Old Saybrook or Saybrook?
No, I was gonna ask the same thing.
We asked ourselves that a lot because, you know, by the time you put Old Saybrook out there, you've got a
Saybrook.
domain name, it's already like 17 characters.
Yeah, I think Saybrook, I mean, and we always just talk about, you know, coming to Old. Oh,
No,
yeah, we
you say you
do.
just
Oh,
did it.
I did
You
it.
did it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought it was very, when they said celebrate Saybrook, I thought, oh, that's kind of bottom, like they left off the old.
Yeah, and
I
it's
thought it was
always a
catchy
season
because
in
it's saying-
Saybrook, caught mine, but I don't even realize how often I'll say, well, come to Old Saybrook.
Yeah.
I always say, oh,
Old, I always say old too.
So
And what,
I didn't even realize.
one
I
of your
could just-
strongest brands is the OSB stickers that I see everywhere. Right?
Yeah, and as soon as I saw you say, it's always your season in Saybrook. Maybe we have. to
it's
say
easier to work
Old
with the
Saybrook.
one word, but
it is.
But what,
Because celebrate.
when you're
Saybrook-
trying to make it
Celebrate Saybrook
snappy,
sounded,
It-
so it rolled off the tongue,
Yeah.
it sounded right.
well, things go with S's too. It's hard to find things that go with O's. I actually did a thing and I wrote down Saybrook and I wrote like an adjective to go with each thing, and I didn't put that in here.
I think it's so funny. I don't realize I say Old Saybrook. all the
So-
time.
I always say.
So I want you to process this as we go through these solutions, because we have to make a decision on that.
Does it
Oh,
have
what
to
is-
be one or the other? Or will it get too confusing?
I think you want things to layer effectively. And if you have one of the things that I think is a great weakness is when we have a client that does this. Railroad Museum of New England, okay, is the Naugatuck Railroad. They have Railroad Museum of New England, Naugatuck Railroad, Ride the Noggy, and RMNE.
Yeah, but that's so
But
different.
No.
Well,
Remember,
Old Saybrook and Saybrook, we're just talking about,
Yeah.
do we use
Yeah, but
Old
would you-
Saybrook or Saybrook?
But, you know, but Old Saybrook becomes OS as an abbreviation. You know, you have a lot of layering that happens. It becomes your hashtag. And are you Old Saybrook CT or just Old Saybrook or just Saybrook? You know, the difference between Old Saybrook CT and Old Saybrook on Instagram, Old Saybrook was 81,000 posts and Old Saybrook CT was 49,000 posts. And those kind of things will make a difference as to how things are trending and what people are using.
Yeah, if I post, it's Old Saybrook. I don't use CT, but it's always Old Saybrook.
It's always Old Saybrook. I just realized I did it until we talked about it.
So
It's even when, even I think of my grandchildren in New York, they talk Old Saybrook. They don't say Saybrook, they say Old Saybrook. Because I asked my daughter who's lived in Manhattan and their friends come, you know,
It's
where do
your-
they
it's your
do?
train station. It's your landing.
Yeah, and so when they talk about it, it's Old Saybrook. So until we talked about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I think
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think I
Yeah,
say Saybrook, when I'm talking locally, like to people that are from the shoreline,
Yeah.
if it's like, oh, where do you live? Saybrook. But anywhere outside of that, like when I lived in other parts of the state and everything, we always referred to it as Old Saybrook. So if we're trying to have sort of a broader reach, I think Old Saybrook makes sense.
It's like a Mrs., like, your Mrs. Cosenza, Erica, like.
And it was
friends.
just,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
I
yeah.
said, it was so interesting because people like some live in DC, some live in New York, but when my grandchildren talk, they talk Old Saybrook. So I think they're defining it, but she's right. When I talk,
Local,
Saybrook, if we're talking local, I think we do it a
Are
lot,
you
just
sure?
saying Saybrook.
Are you sure?
You just.
So we're all doing Old Saybrook.
I always do it.
So you may want to process, I'm putting this
Okay.
question out there for you
Okay.
because we bumped into it. So Erica, you had,
This, well, similar to Michael did too, like,
It's really
where,
interesting.
where the river meets the sound. But I thought that already was a saying for Old Saybrook, to be honest with you. But then it's on somebody's construction trucks.
Mhm.
Somebody, some contractor
Is already saying that.
has that, where I thought that was genius, because where else is,
Well, Saybrook
Yeah.
Point uses it as well.
yeah, it's, do they really? So I don't know if you could, if that was something to use. And the other thing I tried to put on there, and I don't know where it went, was like symbols of the lighthouse. I just think of that as Old Saybrook, but like the lighthouses. I don't know why, but I've always thought of when you talk about Old Saybrook, that
And
pops
it's
into
Old
my
Saybrook.
head.
it's hard to,
Yeah.
it's hard to avoid it. I mean,
Right.
Right.
it's the
It's
police
what you
department.
see, especially voters,
Right.
it's what we see going and
Coming,
coming.
right.
It's-
But even if you're driving past Fenwick, you see it.
Right,
They're right there.
Right there. Yeah. So let's just take a moment to talk about, actually, maybe I'll go to my examples for a moment to talk a little bit about what we're trying to do here, because I'm hearing a number of wonderful contributions, but I want to hone in on where we're putting our efforts, which is a takeaway brand that causes people to recall Old
Mhm.
Saybrook. And so I share with you a couple of examples, right? So, for example, Find Your Adventure in Indiana, where they're blending the first letter of Indiana, using it as a double entendre. And, it allows you to not only find your adventure, do this in Indiana, explore this in Indiana. So you can have an element where in Indiana becomes the foundation for putting things on top of it, right? Imagine that is for Oklahoma. So it could be opening with that, could be great memories at the beach. Imagine that, Oklahoma, right? France has their hashtag is Explore France, very, very basic, and what they talk about is like what really matters. And that resonated for me when thinking about you, because you spoke about that authentic self, that this was the experience that truly was the Connecticut shore, not the packaged Connecticut shore or artificial. It was the authentic Connecticut experience. This version over here is the coast, and what they have gone through and have done is, I will zoom in here a little bit so everybody can see it, is they have done, the 7 wonders of Oregon. And they have this path that you can do to explore the Oregon coast, and they called it just the coast. And so they made a type of experience about it. And their tagline is, to the 7 wonders of Oregon. No one better, yet see them all. Travel Oregon is how they've dealt with their elements within it. Right?
miles, very cute.
Right? And that, so, what really matters, explore France is theirs. Find your adventure in Indiana, relax along the South Shore in Indiana. And this is Nova Scotia, your ocean playground, right? Is how they've placed it.
Do you know what I was told one time, and I'm not, because I don't know, I can't verify it, that Old Saybrook has the longest coastline in Connecticut, because we're up the Connecticut River, down and around and whatever. which always fascinated me as nobody thinks about it, but I was told that it was the longest coastline, which is interesting for people that are looking for
An experience, right? Yeah.
experience, just.
But I think if we have that and we can own that, and it's something that actually can be experienced or shared, right? If we have an amazing long coastline, but it isn't accessible, it isn't like a Route 1 trip you can do, you know, how are we marketing that?
So I had messed around with some other things, but it was probably too close to this meeting. And then I just looked and Michael was using some of the same words because I had put Old Saybrook where comfort meets the coast. And he then put casual, comfortable, coastal.
I like that. I like that.
And then
That's how Michael thinks.
there was like some like themes we could do, like boon, fun, festivity, history and hospitality, walk, hike, bike, paddle and boat or something like that. And then you have like your recreation, your history.
I want you to hold on to all of those experiences. And I want you to stay with me in a space where we're trying to find a website, a domain name, something that we then can build on. So let's like, in Indiana, casual, comfortable, ex Old Saybrook. The long summer's day on the longest coast, ex Old Saybrook, right? And also we need to consider that we're also talking about business development. So, great location right off 95.
Or Route 9.
Or Route 9, build, build,
95, it is amazing.
Yeah,
build your tomorrow, ex Old Saybrook, right?
I mean, it's where the river and the sound meet, but it's also where Route 9.
Exactly.
Right. So, okay, I wanted to share with you, sometimes environments where you are forced at information delivery forces you to tell the truth about yourself or be your authentic self. I often would begin messaging for a client in one or two tools, a 15-second radio spot or a business card. That brevity forces you to get to the root of exactly what you need to convey. Right. So you have some very interesting messaging you're already saying about yourself at your CT visit page, which is a page that you were like, look at that page, right? Where you were, you okay?
No, just looking for the back. I've never heard.
It's very
Not that end.
So a lot of hands pointing that way.
to the right.
To the right.
So,
To the right?
no,
To the left and then to the right.
So one of Connecticut's oldest towns settled in 1635, right? And located where the Connecticut River meets Long Island Sound.
Mhm.
Old Saybrook offers a trove of historical and cultural sites. And a little bit too much like a Wikipedia listing at the moment. We can get there.
Right.
But, Old Saybrook hosts thriving business environments, eclectic shops, unique restaurants, and beautiful natural resources from the beach to the coastal forest. Again, a beautiful turn of phrase, beach to the coastal forest. There is a small town atmosphere with friendly neighborhoods, meaningful organizations, and a feeling of community and security. History and tradition abound, giving the town roots that generate stability and a sense of pride and blend seamlessly with a modern culture. Whether you're visiting, looking for a home, or seeking the ideal business location, you will find it in Old Saybrook, which is why I used that temporarily on that video, because you already have it going on the CT.
Mhm.
What are you thinking over there?
I mean, yeah, I've been looking at what other people use. It's usually explore, what was it?
Discover.
Discover, that was the other one,
right?
explore, discover.
But I'm sharing this with you because there's the effort to meet the requirements of CT visit, which is one of your leading referrals resources to drive visitor traffic, has some really interesting content here.
So who would have written that?
So very likely it was content you contributed
Mhm.
that they have tweaked for some keywords.
Okay.
So the results are a combination of SEO content and editorial content from you. It could have been pulled from content that happened at maybe the day or in your trade publication you have the chamber produces. It could have come from a couple of different resources. It definitely has the sense of having been researched. So I'm gonna share with you a little bit of how I problem solve looking at a brand solution. And I'm not saying it's right at all, but I'm just going to share with you how I look at it. So the first thing that I take a look at is I look to see if the domain solutions are available for something that might work within signature mark or a tagline. So for example, you know, the tagline for newoldsaybrook.org is available, and how the messaging might be new tastes, Old Saybrook, new adventures, Old Saybrook, new music, Old Saybrook, new memories, Old Saybrook. And what right? Anything new opportunities, a new location for Thimble Brewery in Old Saybrook, right? You know, new event in Old Saybrook. And then new Old Saybrook would be the domain name as an example. Find it in Old Saybrook. So find opportunities, find history, find fun, find yourself in Old Saybrook. Okay? Say something. So tapping into the first letters of your Saybrook brand. So say yes, showing a proposal happening at the beach. Say bravo at the Cape for a show. Say wow at an amazing sunset. Say for playing golf. Say more as you're piling on sweet. Say everything. Say old Saybrook. Have fun. Okay. Go Old Saybrook. Go biking. Go to the theater. Go shopping. Go for growth. You also can have the pun of the go being in something. Go being just in the word golf, or go being in golden years when it comes to maybe retirement environments, right? Where you want to spend your life. So that gives you a sense of how that would be potentially problem solved. All right, I'm introducing a lot of things to you tonight, how to think about this.
I do like say Old Saybrook.
I do too.
It
I
has
don't
a
know,
flow to
say,
it.
yeah, say, and then,
And then if we cut it short, the same, like, if, you know, when you're talking to your friends. Like when we get comfy and cozy,
So I was
say
asking you what
Saybrook.
your journey was.
Yeah.
Right. So any comments from our guests online? Susan? Casey, you might be taking a moment out. Oh, you're getting the approval, the power to speak just happened over here.
No, I just expanded that.
Susan, if you want to say anything?
No, I'm following along though. Very interesting.
Okay. So team, how do you feel about the relationship between the theme and a web address? Do you feel there needs to be a connection to that?
Oh, I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes. I mean, all cohesive, yeah, I mean.
I think pretty much anything for Old Saybrook generically has been taken, right? I know, as far as I know, there isn't, Old Saybrook CT is well gone,
Right.
right? So it has to be something that has, and
say yes to Old Saybrook.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we do the say? That
That's what I
one,
mean,
yeah,
say
like.
yes to Old Saybrook.
That
You
probably
mean
has
as
to take-
the website address?
No, what
That's a
do you-
little too big, too long.
Too many lines.
Well, the other thing is, so let me understand this, like,
say Saybrook.
say.
I mean, you want something that when somebody puts in that they want information on Old Saybrook into the search engine, they end up at this page.
So that's a very good question.
And I don't see anyone typing say yes to Old Saybrook, but is there a way?
That's not
yeah,
what would
manipulate
happen.
things?
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, very few people would type in CT visit. That's not how
Right.
consumers think. They would be like, vacation Connecticut
Right.
or summer house
Well,
Connecticut.
you know, what's interesting is today, because I was at the antique center. And what I get people coming in, especially at this time of the year, basically they're typing in antiques,
Mhm.
this area.
Yes, antiques Connecticut shoreline
Or,
antiques.
yeah, or Old Saybrook or.
Antiques off 95.
95,
Yeah.
yeah, and so now I have to think what people are searching for when they go online.
I mean, my
So it's
question-
much different.
Question is like when you do the search engine optimization type things, can you make it so no matter what we have, what they type in, the things we think they're gonna be typing in would be directed to whatever we're doing?
Yeah.
So the first thing that we would do is using the value of AdWords is we would buy those keywords and deliver an ad result in the search. I'm sure you've seen sponsored that would appear. So we would look to buy phrases based on economic development goals. There'll be time where we're looking at doing visitors. There'll be time where we're looking at doing increasing our shopping, entertainment, et cetera. And we'll be buying those words. We would definitely buy Old Saybrook. And someone type that in, things to do Old Saybrook, it would come up, right? First visit to Old Saybrook, visiting Old Saybrook, and it would come up for those search results.
Somebody said boating in Old
Boating.
Saybrook, fishing in Old
Marina
Saybrook.
Old Saybrook,
Marine.
right?
So
What to do while I'm at the point at Old Saybrook, right? And in time, as our content builds on the site, articles that we add, elements that we add to it, we'll have to do less paid AdWords because the site will have been around long enough. There'll be enough keywords on it, and consumer behavior is going to our site based on search history, and Google will deliver those results.
okay.
The whole thing's called the algorithm. It takes a while for that formula to happen. So early on, you buy the words that you want. As you watch the behavior shifting, where organic results are coming to you versus paid, you can reduce your spend. When we launched Connecticut Paid Leave, we actually bought Connecticut Paid Leave to drive them to the consumer site because the .gov site had all the articles about Connecticut Paid Leave happening, and driving consumers to the governor's press release was an annoying experience when they're trying to apply for their maternity leave. So we made sure that we delivered the consumer site based on those search strings. And now we don't have to do it anymore because all of the people that are going to the site versus the press release. That make sense? Okay. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to share with you a tool to be aware of if you want to explore this with me at any point. This is a tool called Lean Domain Search. And when you type in, Old Saybrook as the heart of what you want to have in your web address, 10,000 results come up of options that are available with Old Saybrook. If we say we want to keep it brief, we can feature it by length, and you can choose whether you want it to start or end with the term. Okay. So this is a tool if you find yourself wanting to explore this some more, right? Mr. Old Saybrook's available, just in case you're curious. Hey, there you go. Right? But this is part of the tools we look at to determine an idea for a brand and how it might be for a headline.
Who does
So-
my Old Saybrook?
My Old Saybrook, right? But that which is a great possibility. Then the campaign could be, my dinner choice, my beach, right? My Old Saybrook, right?
Why is that one grayed out though? Is that one not available?
So the .com is not available, but you have the option of doing a .org if you wish to do so.
Okay.
Because of your association, but that means it's not available. So I look at, so like gooldsaybrook.com is available.
Okay.
Right. So it gives you a sense of how, right? Then new Old Saybrook, get Old Saybrook, right? All Old Saybrook.
I don't like new Old Saybrook.
Okay. I am encouraging us to look at a solution that as much as possible is both theme-based and neutral. That would allow, so for example, say Old Saybrook could be around for a long time. Could be with you for a very long time. But you can always evolve within it. You can do a lot of things within it. You can have little kids, their first words. You can joke about a baby, first word was say Saybrook, right? You can have a lot with it. Go Old Saybrook is also one that could be very neutral for many, many years.
I like that.
So like Mr. Old Saybrook, or would be very dated if we ever wanted to have only, we don't want to have just a guy character represent us. That would become a very dated thing, right? All right.
Probably why it's still available.
It's probably why it's still out there. Right?
Myoldsaybrook.com's been suspended.
It's been suspended.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here. See what happens, what register.com tells us. Okay. It's unavailable, right? But .org is available. And let's see what happens when we go to very dangerous to use a live meeting.
But I've already tested it, so.
That's interesting. Very interesting. That's a
Someone owns the domain still, but the. It's like,
no, if you look up here, it says suspended page CGI. That's a graphic that was created.
oh,
So that's some kind of bullshit. Am I being recorded? I am. Okay.
Yeah.
So team, we need to get to a domain and get to a site. How can I best help us make decisions here? What can I best share with you or, and how to organize that for you?
I bless you.
I know.
can,
Yeah.
can you say the ask again?
I will say the ask. If we look working our way backwards,
Yeah.
okay. I will not do Starry Night without a website ever again, right? Right. We work our way backwards from that. I have to have a site done. I have to have a web address for that.
Okay.
The web address should be based on a theme that makes sense, right? And so what I'm asking, maybe I put in front of you 4 solutions I send out to you as an email, and you rank them 1 to 3 for me.
It might be.
Right.
a
And
better idea.
that's a very common way that we go about this. But I thought we needed to invest in understanding what we were doing together
get it,
tonight.
yeah.
Okay.
Can we do dots? I haven't done dots. In a long time. I used to be a project manager and we used to do dots. To,
I'm breaking out in a sweat. No.
So old school.
But I'll figure something that could work. Okay.
No.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So just so I understand, we're looking for a domain right now, not the brand.
Susan, that's a very good question. Okay. In an ideal world, we're looking for a domain name that will help us leverage brand. So the example I shared with you is Go Old Saybrook is a very neutral domain that you could do a lot of things, right? Go for the gold, and we're doing a marathon, right? You could do a lot of things around the word Go Old Saybrook, and it could grow with you for a while. So I'm looking for something that will be both a memorable domain and easy to say in a radio spot or a sound bed for a video, will improve search results, and will give us a theme. If I can find those 3 aligned, that would be great. Examples that I have witnessed, thinkmystic.com, right? Where, think belugas, think family fun, right? That was and that is a campaign around a web address.
See, I like go or set.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of ways you can incorporate that into both visiting, plus also encouraging business to come.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
think-
I like Go.
I think the more we talk about it,
Yeah.
because I wasn't in the beginning, but it does kind of encompass
Yeah.
a lot.
A lot, right? Right. Okay. All right. So I will send it out.
Yep.
I also may take another day or 2 to take a look at a few others. I needed to get a sense of what was resonating for you in this meeting, and maybe put a couple of others on the table for you. So I want the decision we're making is what I call a baton decision.
Yeah, it's very crucial. 'Cause
And-
once
and
we
yeah,
go
it's like-
Yeah.
Right, that what we're doing is we're passing that baton to the next commission, the next generation. Domains can be a solution that's around for decades. And we don't want to leave someone with something that isn't functional from that perspective.
I like that.
All right,
Gives us an idea.
Where
Go
we're
seems
going.
to be.
pretty good one.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
good.
neutral. It's
Please.
neutral.
It's neutral, it's length, etc.
Yes.
Right? Okay. All right. So those are a couple of goals I wanted to accomplish tonight.
Thank you.
Can I answer any question? Any
You
questions?
did, no, that's great. Thank you.
He got kicked off, so she might have some to say.
Who?
Casey.
Think of
She
it.
got kicked off for the baby.
No, she just, she came back on, but she wasn't a panelist, so I don't know if she had.
Coming in. Casey?
Yeah.
I just had a couple questions. Yeah, sorry. I had some technical difficulties. But so did what was there a final decision made or not yet?
No, Casey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out, independent of this presentation, like a checklist to vote on. I'm going to add a few more options based on the
Okay.
feedback I got tonight. Okay,
Okay. And did we say that say Old Saybrook, was that available as a domain? Or was that too long? Was that the
no, say Old Saybrook is available.
okay. Okay. And then my last question is, can you just, I know you talked about this a little bit last time, but how does this website sort of interact with, like, so will the town website have a link to this on it? And it'll sort of be this is sort of like the EDC's, like whose website does this become, kind of?
So this, as far as my perspective, it belongs to the town and it's a product of this commission. And looking at it, it is an independent voice of the towns,
Okay.
but, and speaking with a very specific presence.
Okay. Okay.
Want to add to that?
I mean, I think that we could have a link to this page on the official town EDC
Yes.
page. But the
Yeah.
point of this is to, when people go there, they get a completely different feel. Like, I mean,
Right.
there's no way to make our current town situation, I think, attractive in the way we want it to be for this purpose.
Right. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you. Oh, and I like say, just to put in my 2 cents.
Like,
Say Old Saybrook, yeah. I do think, there's nothing, there's, I wouldn't say nothing to prevent you, but there's very little to prevent you from grabbing 6 or 7 of them and holding them, at least protecting them for your own purposes. I would grab, if you go for Old Saybrook, I would grab Say Old Saybrook as well. It's like $70 for years.
Yeah.
Right. And-
perfect, I like that.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
when we're looking, I'm thinking about, go Old Saybrook. I mean, it could be anything, but when you say Old Saybrook, you might be specifically addressing someone in a business point of view,
Yes. you could, yeah.
particularly, your business, say Old Saybrook,
I know.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so it's,
So for the economic
Yeah.
part of our effort,
say.
because we do 2 different directions here. Marketing for tourism, but also marketing for economic growth.
Yes, absolutely. No.
And so I can see both of them, but maybe say being a little bit more directed toward the economic side. Because it's a positive,
Yeah.
it says something positive as opposed to go, it's just, get there,
I see so many things for either one of them. Say you're open and a ribbon cutting, Old Saybrook, right? Say for sale for realtors, there's, say today for, where you're gonna have, So I'll send it out to you and we'll make some final calls on it. Okay.
Sounds good.
So, I mean, I put a bunch of things on here. I want to make sure that you get whatever you need from us at this meeting. I think we've got what you need for the video. We've got what you need for this for now.
Mhm.
Do you need to do anything for fall?
So I do.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate something that I talked with Jennifer about in regard to the fall video. I think 2 things that I missed in this one that I think we'd like to see, and I'd like to see incorporated some. One is the mini golf. That's something that is ours, and I mean, we make money off of it, and it's still kind of a unique attraction. And I don't see anything in this, and it's also very short. I don't see anything that's specifically historical.
There wasn't.
Yeah. So those 2 things I feel in some way we ought to incorporate it. Yeah.
I think we have a great list that Jennifer made, and we had to make decisions of what we could do in an 8-hour day. She had listed historical, she had listed more things for family. Mini golf was also on the list, and we also didn't get to the real casual food experience. We ran out of time. We were down there, but we just ran out of time to be able to get the,
Because we have Johnny ads, we have things that are his, that people just come here
Come here
for.
Yeah.
Specifically,
Yeah.
these are I mean,
Yeah.
as I said, I love talking, because I'm looking at like here, like, what do your friends, because that's what I kept saying to my daughters who live in big cities, and their friends come to, what are they looking for? And I said, I named some of the things, and she goes, Mom, I understand, because she mentioned Sweet Luna. She says, going to a yoga place isn't what my friends are totally looking for. I get it. She said, but there are things that are iconic here that are not, in like a Johnny Ant or a Monkey Farm or something that is more than that. So that was just feedback from somebody who's talked to, people that are coming here for their fun and
I
vacation.
was sitting in Johnny at talking about eating fried clams when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. That's, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've only lived here 8 years, so that's
what I expected.
that's how far back you
so
I go.
So let's,
I thought he
let's-
drove up.
let's look at that list. We will be able to accomplish in, an 8-hour day, about 9 to 10 spots, right? Depending how close proximity they are to each other.
I know that's why you it was like right there. It's like, I think in fall, maybe doing a little bit different.
And the fall experiences are thought to be different, the foliage environment, the sense of apples, the sense of, pumpkin, the, was that?
We have a scarecrow contest.
So we'll look at those things.
I apologize, I have to take off.
No worries.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
you will be, you collectively, when you get through 3 to 4 of your shoots, which is probably a 2-year journey for you, at the end of that, you will have a lot and a saturation of it. And then you only need to look at some sporadic things that maybe come up, a new brewery has opened that has become a real draw for you. And you can maybe do like a half-day shoot and get a couple of those things added to your collection. Okay, so we'll get that going. The calendar software discussions, the listening tours, are you going to continue to do that? What do you need to know and put in front of these business owners?
I just wanted to get a sense from them, like, do you think this is value and would you participate in it?
Mhm.
Because the last thing we want is to put it out there and then people are like, we don't want to do this. So if I can get a little momentum, I think I can, then I'd say we go for it. And then we just really start telling people why this is going to be helpful to them.
Okay.
And, I did tell them that this site where it would be on, we're going to drive traffic there. We're going to promote it. So that's, I didn't do it as soon as I should have done it. A little
So-
crazy here.
Okay, so, we have a lot of work to do in the meantime before decision time comes.
Yeah.
And we'll see what more data we get, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, not too bad, 7:45 tonight.
Good, because that was it. It's kind of like, I have family at the house. That's where it's like, okay, I really have to go to this one. I hate leaving. I hate not being here. And the summer was inundated with family. And it's great, but it's like, I want to hear what you all are doing.
We're doing some pretty important
And
things
it's
right now.
really, when you think about, as I said, I look at it, because I feel like I live in a bubble and I love it. And I don't think there's anything better than what I have. But and my girls, well, we moved here and they grew up here, but they've been gone for a long time and they live in other places. And, you have grandchildren growing up in Manhattan and all over. Like, what do they think? When they come to Old Saybrook, it's like a warm hug. They feel this is like the safest place. They just, and so then I ask them, but your friends, when they come up here, And some of the people are looking to relocate, or some of them have summer houses, and why do they like us is, to me, fascinating. Because I look at it differently.
Keep holding on to that, keep bringing that to the table. That was a beautiful phrase, like a warm hug, the safest place.
It is. It's a bubble. I live in even in Connecticut, I think we live in our own.
Oh, we do.
It's fabulous. I live down the street. I can walk from here at 10 o'clock at night, or the restaurants, we've gotten better and better. And now that they've got the brewery, I mean, we only are getting, I don't want to get too good. I don't want them all.
There was the most hysterical thing online the other day. I forget if it was for the New York Times article or something else, but I was reading the comments and this one guy was like, no one would want to come here. In the summer, it's too hot. In the fall, the leaves are too slippery. And I was like, holy crap, this is a good article about this place. And now people are going to come here and I don't want them to. It was hysterical.
Leaves hysterical. Like, yeah.
Years ago, I've been going to Block Island way before, anybody found it. And the famous people that used to be out there, kind of the weird, they were not the Hampton people they kept saying, I think there was one very famous newscaster. He said, I would never tell people where I was going because once they find you, they just take over. And Block Island it's nothing. It's expensive. It's not like, there's certain, it's not Nantucket, but it's getting fancier and fancier.
So
And that's
challenging. This is going to be such a challenging journey for you. Because you want all those empty buildings I passed into the year to be occupied.
But we want them for us.
No, but that Thimble Island that is opening
I
up,
think it's fabulous. It's much better for Saybrook than Gorganas, I think.
they're gonna want,
The people
want
coming in.
bodies.
I know.
right, so it's gonna be a really interesting balance for you. I think, economic development paired with good regulations. The amount of, the amount of parking.
don't have
being
sewers.
required, the amount of parking to be required and all of that. Okay, so
Thank you.
I'll stop with my thing.
That's very good.
Sarah, do you have anything to report on the inventories?
No, I'm still inundated with Sustainable Connecticut. But I did put a little note together, so I'm gonna be working on getting emails from the chamber for Route 1, like I did with Main Street, so hopefully that will work out. I need to send off the building owner letters for both Main Street and Route 1. And then I'm just gonna update and send out the surveys for Route 1. But yeah, I think it will be once I get Sustainable Connecticut done. But
Well, thank you for all your.
it's gonna be great.
Thank you.
So,
Yay.
Okay, advisory groups, we don't really have any new business. I think we've covered most of that. We covered planning for fall. We covered micro budget for the calendar and software. That what we were just talking about. Well, we didn't really get into the budget, but we did talk about what the top budget was. And Google slide brainstorming project. That's that. Yeah. Okay. So it's down to me and I just say, good night.
Well, thank you. We did an August meeting, which was good. And I won't be here in September for Vienna Cruise.
Oh, nice.
I'm scared.
Where are you
I'm like
cruising
worried.
to?
I'm a little nervous. This is the first, I think we're flying. We always did.
That's what it's
America.
for, but now I know what it's for.
Copenhagen. Okay.
German first.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Erica, second.
Second.
Judy, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all.